Even Larry has the fake last name.
I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. As I stumbled and I ended up against a stone lantern. That never did come up, did it?
Not yet.
I think I screamed, "Help me!" Then something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness. So you were struck on the head. I suppose it must have been this staff.
Maya, the person who hit you. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, Nick. I just couldn't see. I don't know who it was.
Maya, think hard.
I'm sorry, Nick, but I really couldn't. Can't say it was an especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone. Seems that it will be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. Very well then, Mr. Wright, please begin your cross-examination.
Maya, hang in there. As soon as I finish examining the cross, I'm gonna get you out of this. She doesn't look well at all. Here, have a cross. You can examine it too.
This whole last part seems tired.
Yeah, it's like, we're tired, she's tired, Phoenix
They're probably tired.
Phoenix is tired. I feel like the only possible person who's actually here who isn't tired is Godot. And even
Godot's not tired because he's in like the last wind going, let's finish this.
No, he's not tired because he has coffee for blood.
Oh, that's also true, yeah.
It's like, yeah. Coffee. Go. Let's go. I feel like at this point it's a press everything.
Okay.
Because sometimes they do this a lot in dramatic things where it's literally just you press everything to get info and then it moves on. Who else was on the Inner Temple side that night?
Well, Sister Bikini, of course. But I remember her saying that Iris would be coming over as well.
Well, the day after the incident, Edgeworth met Bikini at Hazakura Temple. I mean, she couldn't be the criminal. So then, did Iris actually come later like she said?
Well, let me think.
She seems confused. It's probably because she's so tired.
No, I'm sure I didn't see her. She must have come while I was preparing for the training.
Can I say, this pose that she's doing right now, I know it's supposed to be her thinking, it always looks like I'm expecting her to do the Genji thing of just suddenly a bunch of ninja stars coming up between her fingers. Like, it's like, yeah. Like, you can't see her other arm, but I imagine she's in, like, some sort of a ninja pose. I will assassinate you! Who did it? Who hit you?
Well, I didn't see who it was. I was hit from behind.
You didn't see the person. But after that, your attacker was in front of you. How could you not see who it was?
Oh, let me think. I'm sorry, I just can't remember.
I was really having a hard time. What should I do? The rule
You
is
always
to
say press.
always press. Come on, Maya. This isn't making sense. Why didn't you see this person?
Well, let me think. It was, dark.
Yeah! Oh, she's smiling.
It was dark. Yay.
Oh, right! It was pitch black. As I was being murdered, I couldn't see what was happening. Yay! I'm glad she's able to find some reason to smile amongst this. It's like, I remember.
It was dark. It's not good to have too much light around when someone is undergoing spiritual training. Come to think of it, there was the earlier testimony to that effect as well. So it was dark in the garden on the night of the crime, and the garden in the temple, and the mountain in the name.
Which is why
of time.
The judge does remind me of Roru. Which is why she didn't see her attacker. The attacker when she came to attack her. I thought maybe she was trying to hide something, but I guess not.
Judging by the testimony thus far, the identity of the attacker was most likely
the spirit that was channeled by Elise Donim, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Evil McBitchtons. Very well, please continue with your testimony. What happened, blah blah segue. Segue blah blah.
What happened afterwards?
My attacker, blah blah, was in front of me, blocking off my escape, I think.
You think?
After getting hit like that, I was in a state of panic. Fair enough. There were only two things rolling around in my mind at that time. Well now, this is beginning to get interesting.
So what were the two things rolling around in your mind?
Balls.
I'm hungry and ow my head.
And also, can I steal this? My name is Maya Fey. 1 + 1 = 2. You see, for some crazy reason, I was afraid I was going to lose my memory. I know it's odd, considering my life was in danger, but that's how it was. Huh. That's not odd at all. Your actions are understandable given the circumstances. So, what did you do then?
Objection! 1 + 1 = window!
I think I screamed of me. Why?
You think you screamed, but you're not sure.
Listen, I was a complete wreck. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Is it a man, a woman, an adult, a child, a dog? I had no idea. I was scared out of my mind. Believe me, my dear, I would have soiled my robes. Ew. I thought this person might attack me, so I... Anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed. I thought that was my last hope.
Wow, it sounds like poor little Maya really was out of her mind. I wonder what she meant by last hope. What do I do? Press her for more details? She did kind of stop herself there. What did she scream?
My last hope.
Yeah. Wait a minute, Maya. What's this my last hope stuff?
What do you mean by your last hope?
No, that's what you said. You said my last hope.
Huh? What? I said what?
Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, right? You screamed, help me.
Yeah.
But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope.
Huh. Maybe I was thinking about Star Wars. You know, that's like, what do you call it when that happens?
Mine's not doing so well up there.
Oh yeah, oh that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at.
What did you just say?
Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker I was yelling at. That's who I was screaming to for help.
Ah! What is it now?
I'm a bird. Ah! I messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out.
Huh?
Witness, are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? Behind the attacker, there was another person. Da 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 da. I meant to keep that part secret. Yeah, what have I done? Takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always say. A ton of pressure. You're in a court of law here. You can't make things up and try and hide things in this chamber. Witness, the information you just presented is vital to the case. I want you to add it to your testimony. You should see the faces I had to make when I do his voice.
The stone lantern wasn't lit.
Yeah, there you go. I guess I said earlier, I wonder if the stone lantern's going to come into it.
So there was a man standing behind your attacker.
Yeah?
That man, he's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Lee Stoneham, otherwise known as Misty Fey, your mother.
The killer.
I think I said it in a previous case, or just earlier on in this case, this game is a butt flattener. I have to keep standing at the stretch just so I don't end up with, like, literally a flat ass. Maya, you know who killed your mother, don't you?
1 second, Nick. Rhino is trying to move things.
God damn it, Maya, we don't have time for this.
Nick,
Mino.
we've been here for 12 hours.
Yeah, we don't have time for this.
There we go.
Max's energy over here runs so low that at times he will just literally, in the middle of a sentence, drop his arm, drop his head, and just stay there for a moment.
Just give up on moving.
Literally, in the middle of a sentence, I will just slump down just to actually gather my energy back up to continue speaking.
Oh dear lord.
To be fair, that's because I'm it's been a while since I've actually slept, so I'm not like.
It's one of those days.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it could have been.
Let's say I thought I got you early enough in the day to where that wouldn't be too much of an issue.
I mean, yeah, and it wasn't an issue at the time, but it's like the last trial is dragging out for so long is the main thing. I woke up, bearing in mind that this is by my time zones, where currently it's 9:30 p.m. I woke up at 1 in the morning.
Oh. Also, there, I voiced her line.
On the bright side, this means that after doing all this, I'll be going to sleep at a reasonable time and fixing my sleep schedule.
Yay, all we need to fix your sleep schedule is Phoenix Wright.
Cool, tomorrow we play Apollo Justice.
Really?
Nah, I got the Splatfest.
Alright. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright?
To be frank, Your Honor, I think she's in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed the huge problem with her testimony.
Huh? What do you mean, huge problem?
Maya,
Yes?
on the night of the crime, that stone lantern was out of commission.
Huh? What?
It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night.
That's not true. That's impossible.
Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
I am your lantern. No.
For some reason, I heard I am your lantern, and I instantly wanted to go, He-Man!
Why? That's not even related.
I am your lantern.
Order of the court. Mr. Godot, explain this.
I am your lantern. I have the power. They were relatively similar enough that my sleep-deprived brain made a connection.
Okay. Okay, Sleepy Max.
When I'm sleep-deprived, my brain becomes gumshoes.
Maybe that's how we could solve some of these logic puzzles. Add the pureness of milk to the perfect clear darkness of coffee. Stir. That is the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of cafe au latte. Cafe au lait? Is that even legal? No. It's illegal to mix milk and coffee. Mr. Tright's words are the milk and you are the spoon, Your Honor. I'm a spoon. I'm no spoony bard, I'll have you know.
Comes through the audience, it's like, hey, I found a spoon earlier today! Judge, I found you!
You must have noticed it too, Trite. The witness's mental state is highly unstable right now.
Alright, how's it any different than any other time I deal with her?
It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that.
And I just spilled water on my shirt. Go me. Sorry, but that's not gonna cut it.
What did you say?
If there truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony.
Nick, you're using your logic powers against me?
May I? Recall the witness's statement about her attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or a woman, an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker, and she quite clearly described him as a man. So it can't be Morgan either.
Obviously, he had his penis out. That's the only way she could know his gender. I assume someone's gender.
In other words, that would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person, despite it being so dark that she couldn't see the face of the attacker in front of her.
No. Order, order, order. What in the world does all this mean, Mr. Wright? Are you saying Miss Fay saw the real killer under pitch black conditions?
Objection.
Right. Do you have any idea what you're proposing?
Marriage.
How could she have seen in the dark?
Not to you, don't be weird.
There was no other light source at the scene.
There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Godot. Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark. And now, you're trying to cover for him. Did she see Godot's visor? Is that what we're going for?
I mean, I'm pretty sure, yeah. The thing looks like it will light up in the dark.
At the end of the recipe case, Furio Tigre's pissed offness caused a blackout, and we actually did see Godot's visor lighting up.
Oh, well, there you go. Cover for the man that killed her mother.
How I Killed Your Mother. This is a new hit sitcom. Coming to
New hit
AAT.
murder sitcom.
I mean, murder sitcom probably sounds like something that could happen. There's only one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is.
Please, Nick. I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you. You talk a good game, Trite. Let's see if you can walk the walk.
I'm not
As
being
Rhino walks to the other side of the kitchen and hopes that another line doesn't come up that he needs to do in the time it takes him to put something in the microwave.
I'm not gonna get out from behind this desk, piece of shit. I'm staying back here where it's nice and comfy. Max totally isn't trying to pat her on just to stall for time because Rhino does indeed have another line to do.
Alright, I'm back. It was pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff. No, Nick, don't. Please, stop.
Don't stop? Okay. Maya is dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the court, and I'm here to find the truth.
Dun, 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 dun.
Not yet.
All right, Mr. Wright, time to show us what you've got. Show me your moves.
There was actually a Brawl in the Family comic that was basically a Phoenix Wright parody, and Kirby was the defendant who was being charged with eating everything.
I mean, he's obviously guilty of that.
They had Miles Edgeworth as the prosecutor, and the lawyer was Phoenix Wright, except it was actually just Diddy Kong in a suit. And the judge kept thinking it was Phoenix Wright. And there was like a point where he was like, Mr. Wright, do you have anything to add? Diddy Kong just looks at him, takes out a banana, starts eating it. Oh, you make an excellent case, Mr. Wright. But the point I'm getting at is that at the very end, there was a cameo of Captain Falcon wearing Godot's visor.
Just on his helmet.
Just as his helmet.
Wow.
Mr. Light Up RoboCop Visor Man 2.5.
On 2.6.
Ah, you got upgrades since I last saw you. Because... what does your new upgrade consist of?
Coffee.
You say that every time.
It's not wrong.
I guess. Because it was pitch black, Ms. Faye was able to recognize the killer easily.
By the beeping.
I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible, yes?
What? But how do you propose to show us something like that?
It's easy, by moving stuff around in the kitchen. We just need to recreate the conditions of that night.
Conditions?
Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights of this courtroom be turned off.
Well, this is... But it can't be.
Da-na-na-na-na-na. That was a nice bit of deduction. That's right.
I like, by the way, how they were very cooperative. It was like, I request that all lights be turned off. Click. It's like nobody questions it or anything. Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder.
Order. Prosecutor Godot, what is the meaning of this? Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it?
Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person.
What do you mean by that?
If you got a question, ask the witness. It's one of my rules.
You have a lot of rules. Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night. Was it 3 glowing red lights?
Well, witness, answer the question.
You're wrong. I never saw that.
Maya.
I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man. For a totally different reason.
What?
Witness, Mr. Wright, witness.
Stop your chattering, Your Honor.
Chattering.
If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules.
You and your rules.
All right. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man.
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry, it's very hard to sneak in bites when I'm voicing 3 out of 4 characters. I didn't realize it until after I woke up, but...
The killer.
Shelly the killer?
I wish.
When I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit and the body was gone. And all the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up, too. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man.
So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man.
Wasn't she locked in, though?
Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
No need to apologize. It's as Mr. Godot said, you're utterly exhausted. It's only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the criminal was a man.
Proceed with cross-examination, blah, blah, blah. Alright. The torches were lit. That much is definitely true, because they did say, when we were in the garden, Gumshoe did say the torches were lit on the night of the murder. Killer certainly went through a lot of trouble. Moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene. For what purpose? Why do all that? Maybe Maya knows more than she's letting on. I feel like this is just... we should just press everything until we find something. That seems to be kind of what we're going for this whole time. So... Get ready to get back to voice acting.
No, I snuck in a good number of bites.
So you lost consciousness when you were in the garden, is that right?
Yes, I think it happened when the victim was stabbed.
So then the person that carried you into the inner temple...
It could only have been the killer.
That's what I think, too.
So the killer carried Maya into the inner temple. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right?
Yes, I think so.
But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something the killer desperately wanted to hide.
I don't know.
Looks like she doesn't have enough confidence. I think I need to gather some more information before I ask her again. Okay, remind me to press that again after pressing everything else.
That was the second one, right?
Correct. The place had totally changed. The torches were lit, fam.
Yes, that's how I noticed that the whole scene had changed.
I'm gonna say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be?
The killer probably lit them since it would be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, if that's true, there's still one thing that bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body?
That's true. It's hard to see how that would be of any advantage to the killer. The only one who would get anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya.
Very well, let me hear some more about the condition of the crime scene.
So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow? It did look really odd. Snow was removed in an unnatural-looking rectangle shape around the lantern.
There were a lot of shovels around the inner temple. But they're all really heavy, way too heavy for me to use.
An odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone want to take the snow away?
Well, there's one thing I can think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victims' blood sprayed onto the snow?
Yeah. Yeah, I collapsed and ended up being splattered.
In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation.
Perhaps. However, there's something that's bothering me. If the killer just wanted to hide the snow with the blood on it, there was no need to remove that amount.
Nah, but I know why, so that's true. You could have scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood. You get where I'm going. You get where they're going with this, right?
Not necessarily for this exact point.
Do you want me to tell you, or should we just
Oh, okay, it just occurred to me.
wait? Okay.
Looks like there are some mysteries behind this issue.
But I think this will help explain them.
So, you're saying that you never saw the killer, right?
Yes.
But earlier, you very clearly stated that you saw a man behind your attacker.
That time it was a drink. Nick, I'm sorry.
The killer certainly went through a lot of trouble. Moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene. We already saw this. Alright, I'm going to press that second thing now. Actually, the killer must have done it right. But why did the killer tamper with the crime scene? Just really wanted to hide. Ah, here we go, something new.
The truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something.
You did?
Yes. I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence for me, for my sake.
Well, what? Hiding it for you?
Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. If Sister Bikini had come back and looked at the garden...
She may have thought that you had done it.
No, she definitely would have thought so. If you're saying that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened.
Yes, I'm sure of it.
Well, it's certainly an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
I know what to do here already.
Present.
Whoosh. Boom, boom.